What's up guys, Alec Kiri here, and today I'm challenging Athlete X to a deadlift off. And
pretty sure Justin Bieber just challenged Athlete X to a deadlift duel. As if 2020 couldn't get any fucking weirder.
You smell what I smell? That's some pure bullfit.
What's up, motivators? Welcome back. It's Kevin. This is Pure BullFit. Now, this is not the video that I wanted to make first thing coming back from another long hiatus of taking care of my family, dealing with things on the local level, and just trying to get through the shit show that 2020 has turned out to be. Originally, we were going to talk about Greg Doucette's new cookbook, The Anabolic Kitchen, but with all the noise going on about fake weight gate, I realize I'm going to be expected to weigh in on this one. A couple of weeks ago, people started messaging me saying that Vegan Gains and Alec and Kiri were making videos saying that Jeff Cavaliere uses fake weights. So you mean the self-proclaimed sociopath who has trouble understanding basic exercise physiology and a guy who's been caught misrepresenting, misinterpreting, and bald-faced lying to you thinks Jeff Cavaliere is a fraud? My first response:
I searched and I searched and I searched, and I think I found one.
Fuck to give what those two think, and I haven't even seen their content recently, so I don't know what their argument sounds like.
Just know the sound it makes when it lies.
But some others have found what's being said compelling, particularly information put out in a video by Curly Nex. He is a smaller YouTube channel and one of Alec and Kiri's bigger fans. Scott Herman has opined that it's solid proof, and Greg Doucette let us know that he's absolutely sure Jeff is using fake weights. Even Alan Roberts and James Linker acknowledge it's more than possible, and all of them agree it really just doesn't matter. Well, shit. Whatever evidence there is confirming Jeff's guilt must be damning as hell. So I checked the video out, and I have some thoughts. But I want to make a couple of points first. I'm not an impartial party. I don't pretend to be an impartial party. I have a clear bias to give Jeff some slack. I don't see what he does in the worst light automatically. I have to check my bias, and that is a conscious effort. His content has made a significant difference in my training and in my life. I am stronger now at 41, in part because of the information that he has put out there for free, in part because of the information in his programs. I'm stronger at 41 than I was at 31, or even younger. So yeah, I've got a bias, and unlike some other folks in this conversation, I don't pretend not to. But at least I check mine. Look, we don't need a whole conspiracy to be having this conversation. The mere fact that those plates look very much like plates you can buy online that are fake is enough to be talking about this. And people are saying, yeah, maybe he did it, but does it even matter? I can't front. It would kind of matter to me. I legitimately think that he can perform every single lift that he has been filmed doing. I do. I would be disappointed to find out that he's been using fake plates to demonstrate them. Is that fair? I don't know. But it is how I feel. So first I'm going to address the arguments that Curly Nex makes in his video, then I'm going to talk a little bit about why it matters, and lastly, if you're still sticking around, I'm going to tell you what I think Jeff should do or what I would do if I were him. So a couple of weeks ago, Curly Nex put out a video pointing out the similarities between weights used by Jeff Cavaliere and weights found online that you can buy that are fake, and then a follow-up video confirming his findings. It's that second video that guys like Scott Herman and Greg Doucette are pointing to as evidence that Jeff has been using fake weights in his videos for a number of years. So those are the arguments they want to focus on. I want to be really clear that while I'm going to be speaking to the logic in those arguments, I am not going to be roasting this kid. When he first started his channel about 6 or 7 months ago, his very first video was full of the same kind of nonsense and ridiculous accusations that Alec and Kiri would resort to. And he reached out to me in a DM and told me he was looking forward to my inevitable response.
I am inevitable.
Yeah, no. See, I took one look at his channel and I saw that it was designed to call out one person, and he was still taking notes from guys like Alec and Kiri. I told him I had no interest in engaging with a gimmick channel that was designed to generate drama so he could drive views. I didn't believe that he actually bought into any of the nonsense that he was saying about Jeff Cavaliere, but as it has turned out over the months and the many videos and the many times that he's reached out to me and tried to challenge me on my constant support of Jeff Cavaliere, he actually believes it. He sincerely believes that Jeff Cavaliere is the biggest problem in the fitness industry and that it is his mission to expose him. And I think that that is important to understand going into talking about these arguments. Because just as I am inclined to give Jeff the benefit of the doubt because of my bias, because of Curling X's bias, he is prone to see every single thing that Jeff does in the worst possible light. And that's exactly why I'm not going to roast him. I might disagree with him significantly on the value of the content put out by Athlean X, but at least he's being sincere and he isn't a lying sack of duplicitous crap like some of the people that he follows. So the first and biggest point that he makes in his video is that Jeff Cavaliere does not barbell bench press a lot, that he advocates a limited range of motion, does not support an aggressive arch to the lower back when bench pressing. He goes on to say that in this video here, it's especially damning because what Jeff is doing is the pin press, which is even harder than the bench press. He claims that 3 reps on this weight with this maneuver is roughly equivalent to a 1 rep max of 350 pounds on the standard bench press, which would put Jeff above several professional powerlifters in the weight class above him in his same age group. Sounds pretty compelling, right? And at first glance, it kind of is. 3 reps at 315 pounds is a 1 rep max of about 335 pounds. If you accept that you can do generally 95% of your bench press on the pin press, that would put his 1 rep max on the bench press at about 350 pounds. This is compounded by the fact that there is a small arc in his back, and if you listen to Curl, Jeff is 100% against that. The weight very lightly and briefly touches the safety bar, and the bar is moving awfully fast with a weight that nobody has ever seen Jeff bench before. There's just a few problems with that. First and foremost, this is not a pin press. He may originally lift the bar off of the pins, but every subsequent rep after that does not stop, does not pause or take the tension off of the bar, does not remove elasticity, and the range of motion can best be described as a half rep. Half reps are significantly easier than a standard bench press and a whole lot easier than a pin press. You can't reasonably compare this to a powerlifter performing his best effort through a full range of motion while pausing on his chest and waiting for the command to press. You certainly can't use it as damning evidence to say that he's not lifting the weight that he says he is. It sounds good, but it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. On the screen, you will see me performing an actual pin press. You can see that it is set up just above my chest, but still very close. The weight comes to a full stop when I press it, and that's what makes it hard. What makes it so much harder than a normal bench press? Resting the bar no longer taking advantage of elastic reflex to help you out of the hole. This second video is of me performing the movement the way that we see in the video with Jeff. I don't know if he was trying to demonstrate the pin press, but that's not what was happening in this video from 2015. This is a partial range of motion bench press, and you can see it is a hell of a lot easier. You even see my bar come in contact frequently with the safety bar, which according to Curl should make this movement so difficult I can't possibly complete it. Once again demonstrating that the evidence is a little bit more of an opinion piece than damning confirmation that he's using fake plates. I even took one last take from the lower of the two positions to demonstrate that it's still easier even on my third set with very short rests in between these takes, and you can clearly see my barbell come in hard contact with the safety bar. Yet I still complete the lift. Now, is my bench press stronger than Jeff Cavaliere's? Almost assuredly. Right now I can bench press about 385 pounds raw. So according to Curl's math, that means that I should have gotten about 6 reps on a best effort on the first take that we did of the pin press. And I think it's fair to say that I had 6 in the tank. So the math checks out. It's just the application to Jeff's video where we went wrong. In this portion of the video, Curl starts talking about Jeff doing the bent over row. And in the first video we see it's 225 pounds with little to no problem. And then in a later video featuring Sheamus, a WWE wrestler, he's struggling with 155. Could this mean that the first video Jeff was using fake plates? Yep, that's a possibility. But anyone who's serious about training understands that performance undulates. It goes up and down. It doesn't simply improve in linear fashion. It doesn't stay the same. It doesn't rise and fall in uniform fashion. Some days are good. Some days are bad, and it could have been anything happening there. He could have been fatigued. He could be physically weaker due to a different style of training between the two videos. He just could have been having a bad day. I do not think it is outside the realm of reason to believe that Jeff Cavaliere can power row 225 pounds for a set of 8. The man is known for his enormous biceps, his ardent advice to incorporate more back training. And this is a power movement that incorporates the use of the legs in addition to strictly your back. Which brings me to my last major point of contention, the comments about being able to curl 135 pounds. I know that that seems like a lot of weight to some people. But for a guy known for his biceps, the amount of experience he has training, it shouldn't come as any surprise that he can curl 135 pounds. and make it look easy. Like with the bent over row, I don't train my biceps in isolation hardly ever, mostly just through compound movements. His arms are bigger than mine and he has shorter levers, making it mechanically a little bit easier. And I can curl that weight with little to no warm-up. And I posted a video to that effect in my Facebook group. And some folks reached out and commented, hey, it's not that he can't curl 135 pounds, it's in the second video he's leaning forward, and that makes it mechanically impossible for somebody of his weight to actually do that. I said, okay, and I went out and I tried it. What you're seeing here is me trying for the very first time with straight legs and a forward lean to curl 135 pounds. At first, it did feel awkward, but I figured it out. And I can see the point where, mechanically speaking, it makes it much more difficult for somebody who doesn't weigh as much as I do. And it might even make it impossible. But then, intuitively, within seconds, I realized it's just because the bar was too far away from my body, and all I had to do to bring it back over the midline of my foot was bend my knees a little. And without even resting, I could complete more reps. Is it so hard to believe that somebody who actually regularly trains this movement and has decades of experience couldn't figure out something as simple as bending his legs a little? Even if we don't take into account the myriad of variables that could have occurred between the time the two videos were taken. This is the unassailable proof. I don't find those arguments so compelling. Is it possible that he's using fake weights for demonstrations? Hell yes, it's possible. And don't think for a second that when I see a video of him squatting from the side, 315 pounds, but we can't see the range of motion, then we can see the front and we get the full range of motion, but we can't see any of the weights, that I don't think that there isn't some movie magic going on right there. But that is not the acknowledgement that guys like Vegan Gains and Alec and Kiri want. They want you to say he's a fraud and that everything that he has to contribute no longer has any value. I think James Linker from Shredded Sports Science comes the closest to how I feel about it.
The majority of the videos that he makes are excellent. Are there a minority of things that he does which are questionable? Of course. And in my original Athlete X video, I say that this channel is exceptional, but that there is no messiah in fitness. And what I mean by that is there is no perfect channel.
Jeff is not perfect. Jeff is not the fitness messiah. More importantly, he doesn't think that he is. And if you're given the opportunity to spend any actual time with him, you'll come to see that he's really down to earth and actually a pretty humble guy. He makes mistakes. He gets things wrong, just like any other human being. In a recent conversation where Curly Next was trying to convince me that Jeff Cavaliere is fitness cancer, he pointed to a video program back in January, Perfect Fat Loss or Perfect Weight Loss, a program of 10 sets of 10 compound movements with 1 minute rest intervals at 70 to 80% of 1 rep max. I personally disagree that that is advisable for deconditioned people or people who are overweight to try and attempt, and I think that when they tried it, they would very quickly find out they weren't capable of getting through that program. I think that that would be very, very difficult for somebody who is in incredible shape. It would be an absolute grinder. And whereas I interpret that as a possible mistake by Jeff or a member of his production crew, Curly Next looks at it like the reason that Jeff is dangerous and should not be trusted under any circumstances. Is that a conversation worth having? Yeah, maybe. But is fake weights? So it matters, but does it make a difference? I don't think it changes the efficacy of the information that has drastically improved my own performance. I don't think that it changes the nature of the generosity of the sheer amount of free content that he puts out to help people or undermine his efforts to move the needle towards a healthier society, which honestly should be all of our goal. So it matters, but it doesn't really make a difference. For real, if it turned out to be true, yeah, I'd be disappointed. But it wouldn't change the fact that I support Jeff Cavaliere, Athlete X, and the great community that he's built. It wouldn't change the fact that his content has made a huge difference in my life, and if you're not the kind of person who would stick up for or defend or support the people that have made a difference in your life, you're just not worth knowing. As far as what to do about it, you can't respond to every single batshit crazy conspiracy that people come up with about you. Like, I'm on the payroll of Athlete X and that's why I defend him. But you can answer this one fairly simply. If it's true, simply acknowledge it, take it on the chin, and move forward doing the good work of helping tens of thousands of people around the world every single year. And if it's not true, he can whip out a scale, shut him up, and shut him down at the same time. He doesn't even need to take Alec up on this ridiculous deadlift dual challenge. I don't know why that guy's trying to make himself somehow relevant to the conversation, but he's not, and it's cringy as fuck. Alec, I know this may look like a 3-ring circus to you right now.
It doesn't matter what you think!